At this time, I'm going to call the regular Board of Education meeting for August to order, 6:31. Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call roll, please.
Here.
Here.
Any items from board members?
Yeah, I had a elderly woman approach me the other day, all in a not uproar, but she was a little concerned, and she just voiced her concern. She's scared for her students coming to school. I think we've said it numerous times. We're all in this together. Explained to her we're doing everything to every extent we can possibly do to create a safe environment for them, and we're buying tons of PPE and sanitizing equipment, and I think we're just getting the word out that we are doing everything we can to keep the kids safe. And I know people have concerns. I think we're a little concerned as well, but people want to get their kids back in school, and we got to do the best we can. Doesn't look like we're the only ones coming back 5 days a week, seeing what the governor released. I think about everybody in the 4-county area is. So just want to keep that in mind and let everybody know we are doing everything we can possibly do to keep it safe and clean here.
Anyone else? Well, obviously there's no visitors. Treasurer's report.
I just have a few items there. I have the minutes from the July 21st and August 4th meetings, financial statements and investments from July. And then we also need to approve a delegate and an alternate for the 2020 Ohio School Boards Association annual business meeting, which is always held at Capitol Conference. And this year, the Capitol Conference is going to be held as a virtual event, November 8th through 10th. So I would assume that meeting will be held virtually as well. So we just need to approve someone as a delegate and an alternate there. And that's all I have in my report tonight, unless there's any other comments, questions, or anything else that's been given to you for this evening.
I got one comment that we have an addendum, so that Homer's going to have to make sure that we let people know we have an addendum to the agenda.
Speak up, right? I forgot already. First, we need to have a delegate and an alternate for the Capitol Conference business meeting. Anybody wish to be the delegate? Anthony?
I'll jump on. Yep.
I'll take the alternate, if that's okay. Or did I miss something? All right, I guess Do we need a vote on that, Mr. Smelter?
Yeah, just a motion and a second to approve all of that. Items A, B, and C.
I need a motion to approve the treasurer's report along with Anthony being the delegate for the Capital Conference business meeting. Do I have a motion?
I'll move.
I'll second.
There. Call roll, please.
Anthony,
Yes.
Homer,
Yes.
Tim,
Yes.
Shane,
On mute, but yes.
Lee,
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Hannick, your report, please.
First of all, we have an addendum. We're going to add something under the administrative report. Superintendent, we're going to transfer consent agenda. We're going to hire a
For the addendum, we're going to add something to the administrator's report. We're going to do a transfer of assignment for Chris Fiddler. And then in the consent agenda later on, under employments, we're going to be hiring Dustin Campbell as the online instructor for Nova, Lincoln Learning Platform for K-6 learning option for our students here at North Central that parents are choosing that option. So those are the two addendums.
Hey, keep muting too. Thank you. Anything else on your report?
Yes. Now I wanted to go over the numbers. Of course, we ended last year with 627. That was final on 6/5 of 2020. The numbers right now are, we have new signed up for Nova, which would be our remote learning option for parents and students that do not want to come and attend in person. We have 73 signed up. That's 73 new students as of today. We had 26 students interested at the elementary level, and we have 47 students new on top of the 33 that we already have signed up at the junior high and the high school. 11 of those students are on IEPs. So that's quite a number of students. They will still be our students. They will work through our Nova program. And later on, Marcia Rosevink, Dr. Rose, will talk about the Nova program a little bit more depth. Wanted to give you an update for 2020 and 21, some of the things that are going on. I wanted to do a thank you to Paul's Ready Mix that made a donation of $2,000 for us to get a basketball hoop for the kids out on our basketball court area. And they also were the ones supplying the cement. So that was very nice of them to make that donation. We're going to put up a nice adjustable elementary type hoop on the back of the east side of the school. The village has loaned out much equipment and helped us to make sure that we're able to do a lot of work. I want to shout out to Mayor Kitston and Anthony for all the assistance that we get that we wouldn't otherwise be able to complete some of these projects. So we really do appreciate it. Our wellness funds we have put towards the playground area, and our playground with the cement and anything that's around the building on the elementary side, the cement and anything to the east of that is coming out of our wellness funds, which was allocated last year by the ODE and Governor DeWine. And that was one of our big projects. We did use some PI money to go anything west of the elementary building, which would be the area in between the elementary building and the parking lot. And there was a couple spots. We're going to turn those into handicap parking for our handicap citizens and staff. So just wanted to give you an update on that. We did receive COVID-19 funds for our PPEs, and we received $35,000 for that. Currently, to date, as of today, we spent $43,162 on our COVID-related materials. And there's a whole host of things, but just so people know, we are trying to hit the most important things that we know that will keep our kids safe. Masks are the number one thing. Distancing is the number two thing. Cleaning and washing hands is the number three thing. Sanitizing surfaces and how we clean. So those are the top four, and we're going to be wearing masks. Everybody K to 12. That's, you know, a directive from the state. We have distancing in the classrooms, and we also have plexiglass, which in between each table and installed all over the school, that, you know, our custodial staff has done an outstanding job of getting barriers made. We have them right here in this room, and we have them in most every other room in the building. We have them in the cafeteria. And what they are going to allow us to do is also keep kids separated. It's better to be 6 feet apart, but if you're got a mask on and you've got these dividers and you're at least 3 feet apart, it's better than, you know, no distance at all. So, I mean, this is a strategy because we're going to do everything we can to keep our kids in school 5 days a week. That's our goal. I want to commend our staff, our staff as in our teachers and our custodial staff for getting the buildings ready, and everybody working together to make sure that we can get a great start to the school year. I just can't say enough about the efforts and the work ethic that's been put in to try to get ready to do the best we can for our students. There's a whole bunch of learning going on. There's a lot of expectations, and it's going to be one of those years. It's not anything we've ever been through before, but we are certainly trying to do everything we can in our power to make things safe, number one. And then, so once we get our kids safe and feeling comfortable, and then we're going to make sure they get educated. We're going to make sure that we're using our Google Classroom platform so that to prepare in case we would have to go home, we will be ready. So those are some of the things that we're doing to prepare for 2021. The PPEs, in terms of the plexiglass, we got 1,000 pounds of plexiglass donated. And that has really helped us because the amount of money that we would have had to spend on that would have been $3,000 or more just on that. So we're really appreciative of all that. Does anybody got any questions or comments? Any other thoughts? Okay. I want to make sure that you look at the first reading of the Neola policies. There's PO policy 2266 and policy 3220. One of them is OTES and the other one is Title IX. This is the first reading. I've given you in your area, you have your username and password to get online. Make sure you review these because this is the first reading. These are policies that we are required to have completed and up in our policy. So we should be able to complete those for the next board meeting. Number 4 on my list, and then with the addendum, we're going to do a transfer of Kurt Short from AM and PM 4 county route to bus 4 AM and PM route and AM 4 county route starting the 2021 school year. We had a route opened, and through attrition, we tried to fill it because we are deficit spending and we're trying to make sure that we use the most common sense along with attrition and numbers going down. The second transfer, we're going to have Chris Fiddler transfer from 4th grade intervention specialist co-teacher to North Central Junior High School to work as an intervention specialist for grades 9 and 10 due to the enrollment numbers. We have 36 kids on IEPs at the high school, and we have 15 at the elementary. And so we thought that would be fair. So we're going to make that transfer. There's really nothing you need to do. I'm just reporting it to you. Both of them are under contract. And then I want to remind everybody that Tuesday, September 15th is our next board meeting at 6:30. The other reminders is the first day of school is the 24th. Later on, Mr. Moore, when he does his report, he'll talk about open house for the elementary. And we will have, we already have professional development going on this week. And we'll have more professional development going on next week. And then we'll get ready to start school on the 24th. Things are starting to fall in place. We just hope by the first day that we're 100% ready. So I want to thank this board for stepping up. I want to thank the people that continually support the school. In times like this, we need all the support we can get. We need all the encouragement we can get. And I can tell you, living this day to day, not knowing what's going to happen from one day to the next, when you get on the TV to listen to the governor, or this or that's thrown at you, or the color of the county changes or whatever, it makes it very, very unsettling. We have updated our Williams County plan on the website. We have updated the North Central Local Schools plan. They're all on the website, up to date. I would like to point out that on the Williams County plan, at the end of the plan, if you get on our website and you look at it, it's highlighted in yellow what the changes are. But the biggest, most significant change is at the end of the plan, where it says if Williams County is classified as red, the school system will consult with the Williams County Health Department to determine the best course of action for students, activities, and learning. Information will be received and decisions will be made within 24 hours of receiving the notification of receiving a red status. As many of you know that watch the governor, he doesn't make that determination of what the color of our county is until Thursday late in the day. So it would give us very little time to prepare. So we will get together and we'll make a decision within 24 hours. So that means kids will be coming to school on that Friday. And depending on the data, the schools and activities could remain open with an in-person learning option. If a change in status to the level of red occurs, schools will remain open until further notice is provided to the district stakeholders. However, parents will be notified on any changes to the learning plans as soon as possible. The school systems, in cooperation with the Williams County Health Department, will make the most informed decision for their individual districts. As of this print date, information is released by the governor's office each Thursday that indicates a county's alert status. The information will be heavily monitored each week. So I just want to make everybody aware of that fact. So that's a little bit of a change. So it won't be a guaranteed close. We will be guaranteed to wear masks. We will be guaranteed to social distance. We will be guaranteed to do a lot of other things, but we won't be guaranteed to close down. Now, it could happen, but it doesn't necessarily mean it will happen. We can do it at the end, or we can do it. Okay. I mean, go. Yeah. Yeah. Does anybody mind?
I have a question emailed. One of my sons will be in 3rd grade. He wears glasses and a hearing aid and struggles with keeping a mask on. I have seen face shields that attach to a ball cap. I think that would be easiest thing for him and wouldn't interfere with his hearing aid. Would that be allowed?
I got my face shield on and that would be acceptable, yes. Here's an example of a face shield that we have here. The face shield is not as effective as the mask. The face shield is another deterrent, and with the help of all these dividers that we have and things, I think we're keeping people in one place, and we're keeping people divided pretty good.
Anything else? Mr. Moore.
Okay, good evening, everyone. A few updates from the elementary building. First of all, kindergarten screening was Tuesday, the 4th of August, and I thought it went very well. Big thanks for the staff coming in and doing what they did on that day and all their help and assistance. But it was nice to see our families It was nice to see our students. And all in all, I thought it was a very good day, a very good screening. With regards to enrollment numbers, and to be quite honest, board, they're moving up and down daily, but I would plan on right now approximately 12 in each classroom. Obviously, you took action and talked about Mr. Campbell, so we're going to have to make some adjustments there. But I think Mrs. Fellers has 14, Mr. Campbell has 10, Mrs. Borton 12, and Miss Wiles 13, as I recall. Mrs. Renfro and I are going to work on rosters tomorrow, not only kindergarten, but all the rosters, get those cleaned up the best we can. Also, with regards to the handbook, student handbook, staff handbook, with the changes to the school calendar, bell schedule, access to the building, so on and so forth, we're making changes to the handbooks. We're going to get those printed next week and have those ready for the students and staff, hopefully by the time the school year starts. Mr. Hannick mentioned open house, parent meeting. I'm going to call it a parent informational meeting, talking to a number of kindergarten families, parents. I think it's important that we get our parents in here and families in here, especially for our preschool, kindergarten, and first grade families. So I put a little draft together. Hopefully you have that in front of you. Again, it's more of an informational meeting. It'll take place in the gymnasium. I do not want families, students in the classroom. At this point in time, we're still cleaning things out. We're still cleaning. So I'd like to have it in the gymnasium. Preschool would start at 5 to 5:30, followed by kindergarten at 6 to 6:30, then first grade 7 o'clock to 7:30. A little break in between so we can clean and get ready for the next bunch. Some bulleted points. Obviously, want to introduce the staff, preschool hours, days of instructions, parents. This is something that we've talked about. Maybe it was Anthony and I and Mr. Hannick talking about, but allowing parents to walk the kids in the first day of school. I had a lot of my kindergarten moms and dads were like, with everything going on with masks, would it be okay if we walk them in at least the first day? So I think we should allow that. Get them in there. Give them a hug, take a picture, and away they go. And just verbally and visually take them through a day of school, what it's going to look like with things related to COVID and safety. Talk a little bit about transportation. Like I said, COVID-related items, academic expectations, but also at the end, I want to turn it over to the teachers, allow them to say a few things to the families and talk about their classroom and expectations for the year. So again, I'm looking at Tuesday, the 18th at those times and just for those 3 grade levels. Any questions about that open house or kind of my thoughts or vision there?
On your parents walking the kids in the first day, are you going to just open up the door clear to the south and just let them go straight in that wing, or?
Yeah, it's right there by the preschool. I'll probably get with Deb, like you said, and just have that program to unlock at 7:45 to 8 and just allow them to flow in that door, and hopefully just that door, exit entry area, because that's where everybody's at, preschool first, kindergarten right down that hallway. So yeah, that's kind of my plan. Obviously, we may have a couple trickle in the main doors by, Mrs. Page here, but we'll get them over that way and allow them to walk them in, and then we'll take it from there. Other things with regards to staff meeting, we're going to have a staff meeting, my elementary staff on Monday the 17th, and just some of the things I'm going to touch on. I just want to share just digital learning expectations, the academics for the year, obviously safety, COVID related topics, outdoor learning options. Boy, between now and October, I'd really like to see the staff between the core teachers, the PE teacher, to get outside, everybody get outside as much as possible, talk about our specials, lunch rotations, that type of thing. Just a host of other type of topics to discuss with the staff. With my conversations and phone calls, I'm probably getting 2 to 3 phone calls a day from families with questions. Mr. Hannick addressed some of them. Mr. Burnett, Anthony, you mentioned a couple of them, but the big thing is mask, no mask, what's going on with mask? And I said, yes, we're required to wear masks, even with our young 5 classroom. That is considered kindergarten. So yes, even those kiddos need to be wearing masks right now. With regards to the levels and everything, everybody's wearing a mask, K through 12. So I've been clearing that up with some families. They've been also asking me about what's a typical day going to look like with a mask. And, you know, my general rule of thumb right now, what I'm thinking and what I'm going to share with my staff is if feet are in motion, the mask should be on. If they're walking up to see the teacher, they should have their mask on. If they're going to their locker, they should have their mask on. In the hallway, have their mask on. Restroom, have their mask on. But I think we need to be flexible with, you know, PE with Mr. Hutchison. I mean, my gosh, the biggest classroom we have in the district is that gym. So depending on his activity, maybe they can pull him down for a little bit. You know, also recess. I mean, there's a time, you know, families have brought that up of just being out, fresh air, getting outside, running around. There's an opportunity there to maybe get the mask down, and also just allowing the teachers some flexibility. Mr. Hannock mentioned the dividers and spreading out. The teachers done a wonderful job getting things out of their classroom, but, you know, with a digital learning platform of, you know, Envision Math, it's our math curriculum. They're watching their video, maybe green table and red table. You can pull your mask down. A lot of the lower level elementary, they have color coded tables. And I just think it's important that we are flexible in that way. And that's some of the questions I've had about masks. Specials have been asked about specials. Again, PE, masks, no masks. Working with our new music teacher at the high school level, band teacher, and Miss Gillespie. Right now, we're not planning on having 5th grade band, nor are we going to have recorders for our 4th graders. Just there's so much hands-on learning there. There's just a lot of that going on. So they're going to have a music rotation, but it's going to be a general music rotation. 6th grade will still have band, but 5th will not until maybe after the semester. We'll revisit it, and also recorders. But they'll still have a music rotation, but they will not have band. With the specials right now, I'd love for them to get in the classroom. Like I said, Mr. Hutchison's room's the biggest in the building. Ms. Gillespie, that's the second biggest room in my building on my side in the elementary. I'd love for the kids to have the opportunity to walk down the hall and get in those spaces and get to their specials. And obviously cleaning, as Mr. Hannock mentioned, the COVID related process, parents were asking, you know, what's going to happen there. And like Mr. Hannock mentioned, just all the dividers, the hand sanitation, the electric dryers. I mean, we got stuff all over the place that we're trying to do our very best, and releasing at 2:30. We're going to do obviously some extra cleaning there. So anyways, those are just a handful of questions I've been getting from families over the last couple of weeks, phone calls and kindergarten screening. And I'd also, like Mr. Hannock said, that I'd like to thank my staff. We've had a number of Zoom trainings for Google. They've been very good. They've been in on those digital learning sessions. So all in all, it's been a very good start. And the teachers are coming together and they're being patient and flexible. And like Mr. Hannock said, we're looking forward to seeing the kids here on the 24th. Anything else for me?
Hey, I just wanted to add to what Andy said, that we are going to be hiring our online instructor later on, and that person's coming out of the kindergarten, which we are very lucky to have somebody step up within the building, not only within the building, but a graduate of North Central and knows the community, knows the kids. Our biggest concern is working with those really young ones. It's very difficult, and Dustin Campbell's, you know, stepped up to the plate and said he would do it. There were others that inquired, but you know, he really and truly is going to be great for our kids in our community and going to help us out. We don't even know what this position is going to morph into, but being willing to take that leap is, you know, much appreciated to allow our parents to have another choice to have their kids at home because they're concerned about potentially not sending them to school. So I just want to just say that is the spirit of what we're talking about. And the other thing is when that happens, because of the situation we're in, we can't just hire new people. So Mr. Moore, I mean, we're going to have to take the kids that were in Dustin's room, to be honest, and we're going to have to divide them amongst the other classes to make this work. And I know that that will happen, but I just, again, want to point that out, is that we're doing everything we can to not only serve our kids, do the best thing for our families, but also conserve, because we are deficit spending and we cannot just keep adding things. So Dustin, that's appreciated.
All right, thank you, Mr. Moore. Mrs. Rosebank.
Thank you. I'm gonna just ditto everything that Andy said about the things that we are doing for the students. My first day meeting, I've got a list of, for the staff, I mean, I have a list of probably 20 things, and most of them are reminders, but some of them are things like, you know, we can do this. It's not going to be impossible. It's going to be different, but different's not bad. Difference is a challenge. And that's something we all look forward to. That's why we went into education. Otherwise we'd do something else. So the teachers have been awesome. I've also been talking to a lot of the students who have come in for the practices, and they're excited. They want to be back in school. They want to see one another. They want to see us, believe it or not. So I'm really excited. The main thing I wanted to talk about, though, was Nova, because we have been using Nova in the high school for, well, since I've been here, and they were using it before then. I found something and I adapted it to fit us, but it's a schooling comparison. Now, this is posted on our website. Everybody can see it. And it explains, I think, in concise bullet points, the exact difference between face-to-face, the virtual academy, Nova, homeschool, and independent homeschool or online school. So just some things I want to emphasize. Face-to-face, we all know, we aren't gonna, I'm not gonna belabor that point. Nova, which is actually the Northwest Ohio Virtual Academy, is a system, it's a platform of classes for students. The students will sign up for core classes and they can sign up for electives. I had kids last year, for instance, on sign language. I've had kids take some foreign language that way on Nova. So it is the core, math, science, social studies, ELA, but it also has some of the others. It also has some classes that would be college prep, a lot of classes that are college prep or can be used to challenge the students. We've broken it down this year, since we're going to have, as young right now at least, we have kindergartners through 12th grade. So we kind of broke it down to the requirements of online time that each of these different levels would be required. For instance, kindergarten through first grade, we are requiring 5 hours a week. Now that's 5 hours online time. Understanding that in those younger grades, especially through about 4th or 5th grade, there needs to be a lot of parent involvement. That platform's a little different than the one we use in the higher grades, which the students can be pretty much motivated and just do their own thing. The younger grades definitely need parent supervision and help with their lessons. One thing I want to emphasize also is that I've had a lot of questions, a lot of phone calls, athletic eligibility or extracurriculars. Can I be in band? Can I be in choir? Can I do this or that? If you're with Nova, absolutely yes, you may. I have a student who is considering coming in for an art class and doing the rest on Nova. Absolutely, you can do that. That is not a problem. If you have transportation to get into our school in the middle of the day, because that's when the art class is, absolutely. So we're trying to accommodate all the students, both online through Nova, if that's what they choose, and in person here, and combination of the two. The two other platforms, well, let me go back. If the student chooses Nova, we are requiring that they do it for the whole semester. The reason, it would be very difficult to come back to, let's say NC, they started Nova and they were in it for 5 weeks and they decided they were way behind, and then try to jump back into an face-to-face class, they're not seamless. They would have a lot of problems. Now, if a student starts here and it's becomes, I don't know, maybe becomes ill, or someone in the household, or they're getting quarantined, and then they decide to go to Nova, we can jump that way. We just can't jump back in. But we are requiring it for one whole semester. They can do it for the whole year, but at least a semester. The other platforms other than face-to-face and the virtual academy, Nova, would be homeschool. That's another one that some students, I don't have too many, but I do have some students who are choosing that. And I want to make people aware that if they choose homeschool, which is their prerogative, they have to have that approved through the ESC, and they are no longer our students. Now, can they participate in extracurricular? Yes. Homeschool students may participate in extracurricular things. Homeschool students may come in for just band. I've had several students do that in my career. There is one more, I guess, option, and that's an independent online school. For instance, K-12 or Ohio Connections. These types of online programs, the student, if that student enrolls it, that student is not a member of our school, will not graduate from our school, will graduate from that, whatever that online school, and that student is not eligible to participate in extracurriculars here at North Central. In other words, if you're on the online and you want to be, it doesn't go back and forth. You can't play football or you can't play basketball and be in that type, like Ohio Connections or something like that. So I wanted to make that very clear. We are setting up appointments for anybody who has told us. We have a list of, like Mr. Hannock said, of about 70 people, I think, right now. We're setting up appointments next week for those parents and that student to come in and meet with our guidance counselor and Mrs. Wyant, who kind of controls that program, who sets it up right now. Dustin will be involved also when we hire him. That way, everybody's on the same page. We have a sort of a contract that we sign that the students say, yes, I will do this. I want to do this. I will spend the hours. I know that I have to do so many lessons per quarter. All is good. So we'll have those in-person meetings next week. We're getting them set up. If the parent cannot come, we can do a Zoom meeting with the parent and the student, or we can try to do a telephone. We'll try to accommodate them any way we can. The best way is for them to come in if at all possible, but we'll see what happens with that. That's all I have.
Any questions from Mrs. Rosen?
Yeah, real quick. So what's the first day look like? I know we're not going to use lockers. You're going to let them carry backpacks and have their cell phones on them. What about our athletes that have double backpacks? Like using my daughter, for instance, she'll have one bag that's all her basketball or volleyball stuff. Is she able to throw that in the locker quick?
Absolutely, yes. What I'm planning, and again, is to try to minimize passing in the hallway with all the kids. So they come in at 7:45, the kids, they go straight to their lockers. At that point, like she could drop it off then, for instance, they get whatever they need from their lockers for the whole day, because with the schedule, they're only going to be in 4 classes, except on Mondays, but we'll get to that. So they're only going to be in 4 classes. So they should be able to put everything in their backpacks and not have to go to their lockers after that morning time. So they go to their lockers, they get what they need, then they go straight to their classroom. And that's another thing I'm talking with the teachers about, so that make sure the teachers are in there. Start with a temperature, start with a sanitizer, hand sanitizer, get in your desk or sit at your chairs or wherever the assigned seats are, and we go the day like that. As you know, we've changed the schedule a little bit so that they're in a double period. And then after those kids leave, then the desk will be clean, sanitized, and then they go to the next 2 periods or whatever. It's going to work out, I think, pretty well. There are going to be some exceptions and there are going to be some glitches. I've got a couple of teachers saying, well, what about this? What about this? You're right. I didn't think of that. So let's figure out how we're going to do that. So that's the plan.
Sounds good. Thank you. And yeah, like you say, I think we're all going to have a learning curve.
I know.
One day at a time, we're going to learn something new and hopefully improve on it. So thank you.
Absolutely. I'm trying.
Then I had, is Andy still on? I had a question for him.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is in your like pre-K through second or whatever, if they had like face shields, uniformity, everybody had the same face shield, do you think that would be better for that age group? Or, where they wear their mask in and their face shields on their desk every day? If like the school would invest in something like that for that group, or just stick with masks?
Well, I talked to a parent today and she asked that same question about, can they just come in with a shield only? And I go, well, the way I understand it, no, it needs to be a face mask. Now, if you want to bring a shield in, have it with them, that's great. But I think, that would be awesome if we had our preschool through, first grade, second grade, whatever, have that opportunity or option to have a shield. Just talking to the staff, but just with glasses and, with their face mask, their glasses are fogging up. So yeah, I think that would be a nice, option to have for kids, especially something we can control with regards to size and shape and so on and so forth, and not relying or having the families have to worry about, this size or that size or this color, or, we could potentially buy those and give them to each one of the homeroom teachers to have on hand. And obviously it would be theirs once they're, handed out and distributed. But yeah, I think that's worth looking into.
Yeah, I would be on board furnishing them for, that age group. I think it's going to be tough as a kid to keep a mask on your face and have to contend with it. So definitely something to look into, and I'd definitely be on board with it.
Anyone else? Anything else at this point? Good. Thank you, Dr. Rosenink. Mr. Wadlett.
So I have a tentative plan, I think, for what fall sports might look like. I'm not entirely sure if it's going to stay this way past this week, but right now we're practicing in all of our sports, preparing for a season. Athletes have been doing a pretty good job of wearing masks. We're taking temperatures every day, filling out a sheet so we know who's at a practice with who in case we have to do any contact tracing. That's pretty much the big things that's happening on a daily basis. As far as masks, they're asked to wear them entering and exiting the building, and if they're not practicing. And then we will be having athletes wear masks on the sidelines of things when they're not in an activity. That was a recommendation from the OHSAA, and talking to some other ADs in the area. We kind of agreed as a league to have that expectation. I know a big question is spectators, and as of right now, we are planning to have spectators. We will not have our gym at full capacity, but we will be allowing people in as long as nothing changes with guidance from the OHSAA. We are asking that if you are entering to wear a mask in accordance with that state mandate. I'm not 100% sure. There's been some discussion as whether once you're in your seat in the stands, are you allowed to take your mask off or not? I haven't been told that that would be allowed, but that's something that we're still waiting on some more guidance for. So there is a possibility that you'd only need your mask to enter, but no one's heard back who's asked about that yet. We are going to have the option to live stream sporting events. So for people who maybe don't feel safe coming to an event, or if for whatever reason we we start limiting the number of people in the building, that will be an option as well. So there, if we play, I can guarantee there will be a way to watch, whether it's in person or through technology. As far as what happens if someone has symptoms or anything like that, that has changed in the past couple of weeks. So we're going to kind of handle that on a case-by-case basis. I've got the current guidance. So basically, if you have symptoms and you don't want to get tested, you should wait 10 days to come back and make sure you don't have a fever for 24 hours. Or you can get a negative test result, and then your doctor has to explain the symptoms. So like they'd have to say you had strep or something like that for why you had a fever and things like that. And we have a flow chart from the health department that kind of helps us go through different things like that. And that is different than what the OHSA said, but we're trying to follow our health department since that's where we're at. And that was kind of the guidance given to us. The only other thing really is tickets, and the one thing I'm going to try to do, and I haven't 100% locked in these numbers yet, but offering individual sports passes. So like there would be a pass just for high school volleyball, one for junior high volleyball, and kind of discounting them down. So right now I have a high school volleyball adult pass would be $35, and there are 9 home games. So that would be $54 normally if you were to pay game by game, so discounting it by $19. A student would pay $36 to come to all the games, and I have that down as $25, so they would be discounted $11. And the reason with doing these individual sports passes instead of a North Central sports pass like we've done in the past is because partially to make it a little bit easier for people, but also because there's a chance we could have some sports and not other sports. We could start a fall season and not have a winter season, so we don't want to make people pay for a pass that they won't use. So we're going to try to do it on a sport by sport basis. But again, still waiting to make sure we can play all our games. With football, there was some changes to our schedule because the NWOAL went to league only, so we lost a game. But I haven't had a chance to look, but I just saw somebody texted me asking if we have openings in our schedule, so we're going to try to fill that back up. But as of right now, we're planning on seasons, and we're hoping we get them.
Any questions?
What are you charging individual price wise then for going into sporting events?
So there was some talk with the league about maybe doing like everyone pays $5 to try to keep it easy to maintain, but that isn't actually what's going to happen. So I think we're going to keep ours normal. Another idea would be to let our athletes who are in season and kids who are in band, and I don't know if this would be 7 through 12 or 9 through 12, but let those kids in free to sporting events. I haven't had a lot of chance to think about it, if we want to do that or not, but that's also something that we might look into doing. But that answers your question.
Yeah, so ticket prices just stay the same that we
Yeah.
approved last
And,
month.
I guess I should also say, teachers would still get in free, board members would still get in free, senior citizens that live in the district would still get in free. We'd still honor all those old things that we've done. We're just trying to offer for the people who would be purchasing sports passes from us, just doing them on a sport by sport basis.
Thank you, Mr. Wildlet. Let's see, recommendations by the superintendent. Okay, I got a motion for in lieu of transportation, be it resolved that non-public transportation by bus may be considered unreasonable and that the superintendent shall inform eligible parents of this action so that payment in lieu of transportation may be arranged. Be it further resolved that the amount of in lieu of payment to eligible parents for the 2020-2021 school year be the minimum rate calculated by the Ohio Department of Education. Do I have a motion?
I'll move.
Motion by Tim. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Anthony. Any questions? Call a roll, please.
Homer? Yes. Tim?
Yes.
Shane?
Yes.
Lee?
Yes.
Anthony?
Yes.
We need to approve the 2020-2021 North Central Local Schools Transportation Handbook per the attachment. Do I have a motion?
I'll move.
Have a motion by Lee. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Second by Shane. Questions, comments? Call roll, please.
Tim?
Yes.
Shane?
Yes.
Lee?
Yes.
Anthony?
Yes.
Homer?
Yes. Next is elimination of one full-time position from the cafeteria, starting with the 2020-2021 school year. Do I have a motion to eliminate that position?
I'll move.
A motion by Anthony. Do I hear a second? I'll second. Questions, comments? Call roll, please.
Shane? Yes. Lee?
Yes.
Anthony?
Yes.
Homer?
Yes.
Tim?
Yes.
We need to approve complimentary passes for athletic events. Approve the resolution to approve the complimentary passes be offered to our employees, community members, and other individuals as follows. Board of Education members and spouses, administration and spouses, adult pass for all North Central local school employees, adult pass for senior citizens living in the district. Do I have a motion?
I'll move.
A motion by Anthony. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Shane. Questions, comments? Call roll, please.
Lee?
Yes.
Anthony?
Yes.
Homer?
Yes.
Tim?
Yes. Yes.
Next is the approve the North Central Local School District 2020-2021 athletic fall sports plan. What all is this entailing? It's the pricing for all the tickets for varsity. And as we discussed, we're looking at season passes at all 8 levels also.
Yeah, that was what we passed. And just as a reminder on there, that's what we passed on the June 29th board meeting. That's just a reminder of where we were. He's adding additional stuff to that
Okay.
within his plan. So once we get the plan approved, then we'll get the updates that you want, and then we'll get it out on the website so that everybody can see it.
Okay. So we need to approve the additions that Mr. Wildlick will be developing.
Right. And have faith that we'll get them out there.
Okay. Do we have a motion for improving the updates?
I'll move.
I have motion by Tim. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Second by Anthony. Questions, comments? Call roll, please.
Anthony?
Yes.
Homer?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I've not forgot that yet. I'm not sure where to put it yet. All right, we need consent agenda. We need to improve employments of Rich Lashaway as a bus driver. We've got 5 for entry year mentors. 1-year supplemental contract for classified for Carly Blank for junior high cheerleaders and Mike Long for assistant varsity football. We got it right here, I think. What's that? Yes. We also need to approve employment of Dustin Campbell as the online instructor for Nova for the elementary. The junior high school teacher and staff handbook for 2021. The service agreement with Wood County Juvenile Detention Center on an as-needed basis. And the substitute list from the Northwest Ohio Educational Service Center dated July 31st, 2020. Did I miss anything? And the transfer of Chris Fiddler to the junior high school as an intervention specialist. I think that's everything. Do I have a motion?
I'll move.
Have a motion by Tim. Second.
I'll second.
Second by Shane. Call roll, please.
Homer,
Yes.
Tim,
Yes.
Shane,
Yes.
Dee,
Yes.
Anthony.
Yes.
Okay. I didn't miss anything, did I? I just wanted to double check. Has there been any other questions or anything, Mr. Smeltzer?
Let me go back in here and look one more time. I do not at this moment have any, yes, I do.
Does anyone have a reason for an executive session? No. Then I
Does Deb have any questions? Did any pop up on Facebook?
Good point, Anthony. Thank you.
Oh, you don't have it? No, it was a newspaper report, just asking if we can send her the exact wording for those addendums, so she can. Okay.
Mrs. Myers, was there anything show up on Facebook?
I texted them to Mr. Hannick.
Oh, you texted them?
Thank you. With that being said, there was only comments on the Facebook side, so I'll entertain a motion to adjourn this regular meeting of August for 2020 for the North Central School Board. Do I hear a motion?
I'll move.
Have a motion by Anthony. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Lee. Call roll, please.
Shane,
Yes.
Dee,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Homer,
Yes.
Tim.
Yes.
7:31, we are adjourned, and I wish to thank everyone who has watched or attended.
Thank you.